Hey guys, so we're back in Subnautica, and ignore the giant rocket. That's nothing to be concerned about. I think the big concern is the copyright strike waiting for me at the beginning of this video with Jeepers Creepers. Please don't hurt me, big movie studio. Anyways, I have a lot of stuff to show you guys with the Arctic expansion, and this, oh man, they teased a lot of in-game footage and vehicle concepts. They have actual stuff in the game. We see some of the creatures that are going to be in game. We see the weather itself, and we don't get to see ice tornadoes, but I'm going to touch base on that a little later because it's the first time we've actually gotten to see weather in Subnautica, and it's in the form of like a snowstorm. That's not the big deal anyways. I also have to show you guys the new peeper concept for Below Zero and a ton of other stuff, which you saw in the beginning of this actually. So let's bring up the peeper right now. This is the Arctic peeper. This is the, I guess, other version of the peeper we currently have in the game. And I will say, I do like how it looks. It's a very different take on the peeper's skin. Now, like the model itself isn't really that different. You know, it doesn't even seem like there's anything changed, to be honest with you. But the cool thing about it is it seems to have some bioluminescence on the very ends of these little, I guess, antenna type things that come off of its body. And obviously the colors as well are different. Its beak is also a little more pronounced compared to the original peeper, I feel. The eye is still giant. It's still signature flagship creature of Subnautica besides the Reaper or any of those other big things that scare the crap out of us. You get the idea. I want to know what you guys think about this new peeper down below in the comments section. Super interested to hear back from you guys and know what you think about this little guy and if he's cute and adorable. I think it's a cute and adorable little fish, and well, we're going to see a lot more fish that we currently know in Subnautica in the expansion. So what I'm going to do as the first order of business is run into, I guess, the highlight point of the video that you probably want to see, which is the new vehicle, the sea truck, that is still in super early development, so it doesn't even really have a proper model, and it's nowhere near polished, but the general systems of what we want to see are there, and we kind of gather what type of vehicle this is going to be in the final version of the expansion. Granted, they don't scrap it because it's such a complicated vehicle. So this is the sea truck, and they are currently working with it and putting the sea moth, I guess, movement stuff on it and all the fancy dev stuff that I don't understand. But we're going to play this. We're going to see what the deal is with it, and we will move from there. I think this is also the clip that teases the weather systems. Anyways, let's move into it. You can see clearly there's a lot of different compartments, and I do remember reading on the Trello that is how it's supposed to be. You can expand it and deconstruct it as you see fit, and you can basically make a giant sea truck if you wanted to, and well, not so much if you didn't want to have one. So more or less you would have individual parts and you could sync them together. Now I think there is a trawler upgrade too, or something like that teased on the Trello, where basically it would be a fishing vehicle and you would capture fish or whatever it is. And this, I don't think this would be for, you know, the purpose of catching them and then eating them like we usually do. I think this is more of a purpose of catching the fish and then studying them, or in this case, I think use it. Oh, hang on, gotta stop. This is the weather right here. You can see it's snowy. It seems like it's raining too, which is kind of strange, but that's the weather teaser right there I wanted you guys to see. We've never seen that before. We actually saw it a little bit ago too in the video, but anyways, back on topic. So I think the reason why you catch all these fish is just to examine them. As you know, in the storyline of the game, you are I guess, you basically investigate different species and stuff like that. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the title they gave the woman that's the main character, but that's generally what it is. And you study the wildlife and stuff like that, basically. I think the fishing trawler will be more for that, and I also want to reinforce that just because of the fact that we're going to be getting our enzyme thing, whatever it is, the DNA extractor, where you can extract DNA from fish and stuff like that, and, you know, make serums and stuff that give you different powers and stuff like that too. At least I think that's still in the works. But anyways, the whole outline is basically there for them. That's the sea truck, obviously, and we can see some of the fish here we already know from Subnautica itself, just the normal base game. The schools of fish swimming around, we know this too. And just in general, there's a lot of familiar feeling stuff. Even the giant stocks and stuff down there, like we know that's from the beginning area of the game, actually, where you have to go in, you have to get the seeds from them just to make your first, I think, like a knife or something like that. You need the actual stuff from that. Now, there's not too much more on the sea truck in this clip, actually. This is basically the end of it. I'm going to take a second now, and we're going to move into another clip that I have to show you guys. So far, the sea truck's looking cool. I like that it reacts the way it does. It's kind of like a Cyclops, but anyways, let's just do something else. So this is actually on their development software, where we can actually see how they're making the game and how things are being constructed, basically. Now, this is also the sea truck, but this features its docking module, where they combine them together with their sound effects and all that. And actually, he's going to take this prawn suit and attach it to the back of it as well, which is kind of interesting to see. Like, now I really want to know how this thing is going to look in the final version of the expansion, because, like, you can dock things onto it. And whether or not that's a feature they're going to keep, I mean, I don't know. That's in the air right now. But as far as I'm concerned, that's a really cool idea. It's, in my mind at least, I would prefer this, having something hitched on the back of your vehicle, rather than have it go right up into the center of the vehicle and be all weird. And, like, I mean, honestly, with the Cyclops, it's always kind of confused me how the hangar doors can completely open and that thing not flood with water instantly, or all the air jet out. And then, you know, like, there have to be some crazy stabilization systems in that to keep that air bubble from getting pushed out. And I mean, then the depths and stuff too. It's a giant mess. Anyways, that's it for the docking stuff. I think that's all I have right now on the sea truck itself. For, I guess, everything there. I do have some more stuff on the minimap shaders, the control room itself, which is also really cool because they give you super control over your base and how things are, and you actually get to see in-game footage again, and then the base lighting. So I'm going to move into the control room now, and then we will move from there. So this is the control. Ew, he's still using Firefox. Oh no. That's the first thing I noticed. So this is this is the control room, and this basically gives you all of the statistics about your base. As we know right now in Subnautica, if a base hull is damaged, we really don't have an interface to see what's going on. We can actually see outside too, which is kind of cool. You see the ice shelves and stuff like that above. But wait, what was that flash? Was that lightning? That was weird. Maybe it was just some weird lighting bug. So we know in Subnautica right now, when a base is under too much pressure and it's going to be hurt, we just have this little overlay thing that pops up, kind of like a dev would have just wanted there, just as like a quick pointer. Hey, this is happening. So that's basically that, and it's not really that much of a integrated system. Now this, however, this is meant to bring way more playability within the base, where you can actually see more immersion being brought in. They have the actual information about your base, how much power you have, how much power it's generating, how much power it's using, your structural integrity, which in this case is at 48%. And right now, too, the dev is using a time command. Now, they're changing the speed of time because they want to show you right here how things charge. They put up another solar panel, and now as time passes and day continues on through, you will see how fast your base actually charges power compared to how much it has to output. So if this guy was charging some batteries in his base, I'm sure the red would actually read like maybe 1.0, and then you would want to keep the green above 1.0 in order to not lose base power. But then you have your reserve power too, which I really hope they add some like giant battery packs or generators or something you have to put down to actually store power. I mean, like, it would be a bit of a nuisance, but at the same time, for the aesthetics and knowing where your power is, I think that's pretty cool, rather than just have it coursing through the base's walls. Now, again, they're going to show you what happens when you add a nuclear reactor. It is a steady 6.6 of power that you generate, and that's actually kind of cool that they have that. So now we can see the individual power that each generator will produce. I'd like to see the bioreactor actually, but here's more outside of the base. It's still looking really nice. It looks very bare bones as far as I'm concerned, but that's just because they're still working on it super early. And there's also a fog that is super close to the character. Now, I don't know if that's the developer's settings or if that is just how the game is right now. Now, you can see they added some more compartments to their base. Their base integrity is now 18%, which means they will start to take on water really soon. And that's also a really cool system to that we have, so we can kind of go in and check now if we forget how much integrity our hull actually had. Whereas currently it's kind of like, well, we tell you once and then that's it. Like once you go over, well, then we're just going to start bursting holes. Now you can see right there, damage due to weakened hull, and it still pops up on their side of the client too. So now if he goes in there, he's going to see those holes. There's going to be water that's going to be pulling up pretty soon. Just a whole bunch of nastiness, basically. He just has to check the integrity real quick. And you'll see it's at minus 22% with 17% power remaining. They are... How did he lose power? That's my question. He had 100% power, and now his nuclear... Okay, whatever. Anyways, you get the idea. So now he has to repair the base and do all that nasty stuff. You see, like, I wish they had added a system like this in the beginning of Subnautica, because base building is important in Subnautica. I feel like they could have branched out on those more, but they took a different direction, I think, and wanted to make the vehicles more of a inspiring thing, because they did numerous iterations on the Cyclops. If you guys remember, the Cyclops got so many changes, and it completely just changed its stance from what it was to what it became. It no longer sinks and turns upside down on all the nastiness, and you just can't use it. It actually explodes now, basically. Like it's a very different experience compared to what we had in the beginning of Subnautica. Now, obviously, he's cleaning up the base, trying to fix things up. It seems like your power doesn't actually completely go out. You don't lose your base lighting, stuff like that, but that just might be a developer thing as well, so I wouldn't worry about that. This right here is kind of cool. He can actually reach down onto the map and choose what sections to power and what sections to not power, which I really like that. But I just don't know if that will power outside floodlights too, and if we can change the floodlights and stuff like that to turn them on and off when they're outside, or if we actually have to go out and manually do that. And then you can see, obviously, right here, he has part of the base turned off, no power going to it, conserving power, and then the section next to it, well, it still has power. It can still use its electronics and stuff like that. So, all in all, seems like base customization is a huge one when it comes to the developers. Now, let's move on to a couple different things. So this clip I'm more so showing you because it actually shows more of the outside environment. What we're seeing right now is more so, you know, the system that we had seen earlier with powering systems and having different sections of the base turn on and turn off, so on and so forth. But I wanted to show you guys this because we can actually see the outside terrain again, how things look. We're actually above land this time using this base, and it seems like structures actually completely work above land. We can have them on stilts. Doesn't really look like it's working as intended because those stilts, whatever they're on, kind of look out of place, in my opinion. It looks like it's kind of just reaching down into the water, trying to find an underwater structure. And I feel like if we're going to build on land, well, might as well just have them actually rooted onto the land. What is the benefit of having these things down on the ground? I don't understand why you would want to raise the base and not have it on the ground, because it's just way more work, quote unquote work, for the player to actually create. But it doesn't even matter. The outside looks really good. I want to know what you guys think though about it, and if you are enjoying most of what you see in these so far. I have some agreements and disagreements, obviously, with this, but so far it's looking pretty decent, I guess. So just to recap, we have seen the sea truck and how it moves around currently in their very early version of the game, the docking module that they also have, where they can dock different things onto the sea truck, which is a cool enhancement to have for the vehicle. We've seen the control room or control center, whatever you want to call it. I'd call it the control center because it sounds way more badass. And we saw some more in-game footage of how the map itself looks and some weather elements as well, which we've been seeing periodically through these. What I'm going to move into now is base lighting. Now, base lighting is something we know about because we can power on unpowered sections, but we didn't really get to see a good section of how this works. So, more or less, this is them turning on and off the lights. That's quite literally what this is. Why am I including this in the video? Because I'm sure there are some people that would still want to see it. So this is for you, little Jimbo, who the only person that wanted to see this portion of the video. You do you, bud. So some of the last stuff I want to touch base on is the weather and also the confirmed creatures and the entirety of that list. Now right here on the Trello, we see they are creating a distinctive weather types and events code basically what they want to do is have numerous different types of weather, such as clear, mild, which is rain or light snow, heavy, which includes blizzards and low visibility, and then extreme, which includes hail, lightning, and ice tornadoes, etc., etc. So basically, just, God, the weather is going to be something that can kill you if there are ice tornadoes, because I almost said tomatoes, because I can only imagine an ice tornado having super sharp shards of ice-like glass that would skewer you and chop you up into fine little diced bites, or anything that might see you like a penguin or something that wants a quick snack. You get the general idea, though. The weather system they want to work on is going to be a really cool one. Now, I've been looking down through the entire list here of activity. They've been working on creature quality tests as well, which we can move into this, and we can see all of the different creatures they are currently working on bringing into the DLC, the expansion, sorry, which is the ice worm right here. Apparently, the ice worm may already have its model and animations because they don't have any brackets next to it, which means, you know, it needs animations in rigging. And these ones just don't have anything next to them. And these ones that don't have anything next to them, we've seen the majority of these already completely ready to go from Fox's art station, where I showcased all of the creatures like a week or two ago when they initially launched with Below Zero, showing you all the cool stuff. So more or less, the idea is there. They have all the stuff there, and it's going to be pretty cool. They're working on first use animations, like when you first get your scanner and you're just looking it over, and then the grab gun where you almost rip off your own hand and stuff. They are doing some stuff with the sea truck as well. You don't really get to see too much about this vehicle, and honestly, we probably won't see the finalized model of this vehicle for a very long time, unfortunately. And that's just because it may be one of the secretive things, like the giant worm that they're keeping from us for a surprise, more or less. But the general idea is still there, and we get to see some prototyping of it. And I guess all in all, like, they have to be secretive because they don't want to spoil their game. They don't want to give away the cool stuff that's going to be there. We'll see some of the fancy stuff and some of the mid-tier stuff that I would consider popular, like the sea truck. But the worm itself is kind of something that's giant, so they'll probably hold off a little bit and then let us see that in more of a polished state, kind of like the Ghost Leviathan, where we really didn't get to see very much of it at all, and then one day it was just like, hey, it's in the game. It's in the game, and enjoy, more or less. So that's basically that. Now, I've been searching down through this Trello for a while, and I haven't really seen anything else too interesting. We just see the leveling pitch threshold for the sea truck and their fishing trawler module, which they're working on now too. And I already explained why they may have that. So that's basically everything right now that we have to look at on the Subnautica Trello, unfortunately. Unless you want to watch me continually be dumb with the rocket and change its size and do some weird stuff with it. Really weird mod, by the way. But regardless, guys, let me know what you think down below in the comments section about everything you have seen in this video, all of the video clips and stuff like that. This stuff is official from the Subnautica devs again. It could be subject to change, though I have doubts they will change it too much. The only thing I think they would change, if they were going to change anything in this, is the sea truck. And I think they will borderline wanting to scrap that because it's such a complicated thing to set up. And it's multiple interiors, it's multiple things being able to work together in a just it's complicated as hell, basically. Kind of like the current generators where they could make these boxes, or we used to be able to, where we could make these boxes and it would generate a current and stuff like that. It was like something to do with dynamic ranges or something like that, and then they have this giant sea truck. So if anything's going to be scrapped, I think it'll be the sea truck because it's crazy complicated, and I can only imagine it really has to have some crazy uses to warrant having so much time, effort, and money sunk into one aspect of the expansion. I think this thing, oh man, it's got to be important. Anyways, guys, that is it for now. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one.